This is Gabe. I'm Elevated Daily. Thanks for joining us again. Today we're going to go ahead and continue our review of Strange New Worlds, Season 2, Episode 6, Lost in Translation. Really into this series as a whole so far. Like I've said in my previous reviews, this show really knows how to do something that seems very familiar with the characters and their vibe and their feeling. With being new stories, new beats, it's been established, so they know where they can play, and they've kind of played within there. Go back to the time travel and how they've kind of set some things right there and pushed things back, showing why nothing has happened in the years that they did previously. So I'm liking that. Like I said, making something old feel new. We're going to jump into the new episode, and if you like what we're bringing, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how we're doing, and if there's anything you'd like us to review. But we're going to go ahead and jump on into this. All right, and this week we have an Aurora-based episode, and I like how we've been doing that lately. We've been spending time at the beginning of each episode, seeing what's going on with the character and where everything is developing and where the story beats are. We got some time with Luan. We got some Pike time. So this is cool. We got an Aurora. And we see that with Aurora, she's having difficulties with Hemmer and her loss. And with this, it's affecting her and she's not sure what exactly is going on. So, when she goes to talk to Spock, I like how he's instantly kind of already defensive. You can see by his body language, kind of off to a douchey start. That's not the Spock that we're used to. I don't ever recall seeing him in a defensive posture like that. So maybe that's new due to his emotions, lingering from last week and his relationship from Chapel. I'd like to go ahead and see where that's going. But, Aurora goes ahead and she sits next to Kirk and, Kirk's just saying, hey, how's it going? And she's like, bro, I'm not having that. I'm not into it. I'm just trying to get a drink. It's like, you're cute and all, but I was just saying hi, like legit, get over yourself. And she's like, all right, my bad. And she takes off and she starts to hallucinate again about Hemmer. It's all about Hemmer. This is somebody that was very close to her that she lost recently, and it's affected her. It actually helped her join Starfleet, if we recall. So now, she's fighting against, what she thinks is zombie Hemmer, and ends up, it was Kirk. She was beating the hell out of Kirk. That is a superior officer. That is trouble. And he's willing to, tell her, let's squash this and I'm going to help you out. And she, heals his face a little bit and he's my bad. And he's like, definitely you're bad, but let's go ahead and figure out what's going on. Because if we report this, you're in trouble, not me. And I wasn't doing anything. You were freaking out. When we pick up with number 1 and Pelia again, we see them on the station, and it is definitely a little bit abandoned. They run into this dude, Ramon, who looks like he has seen better days, trying to figure out what he was doing, trying to sabotage the station. And then, Aurora goes back to her command, and she is freaking out, and she sees the crew get sucked out of the viewport, having a hallucination, and the captain's like, what the hell? You're not even supposed to be here. What are you doing? Talking to her, and he's telling her, as your captain I'm worried about you, but as your friend I'm even more worried about you. And then Kirk walks in because he's not done investigating the situation either. He told her he would. It turns out some of his people are experiencing the same thing, and she's like, thank you for that, because was starting to freak out a little bit here. And when they're talking to the doctor, they're saying, this dude's brain is completely deteriorating, and a lot of brain damage, and luckily nothing on Aurora yet. And, then she is, a little bit perturbed, a little bit confused as to why she's feeling this. And we see, after she gets examined, Ramon, when he's getting examined, grabs that knife thing and like whatever it is and swipes that Dr. M'Benga and gets him on his chest and runs off. And everyone's like, what the hell just happened? And, she freaks out for a second, has another little episode. And when she comes back, Kirk's still by her and she's freaking out. And he's like, no, this is real. And he tells her, I got you. So it's cool to see where their relationship's developing from, how they first met, to the Enterprise that we know and love, and where they're going. And it kind of shows why this crew is always so close. They really are there for each other in ways that most of us aren't on a daily basis. So I'm digging that. And when they're going around exploring things, she has to trust in him, and that's good. It's character development as it should be, showing, should I trust him? Should I not? We'll see. We have our captain screaming, "Man down, man down," as he sees one of his crew has taken looks like a knife again, because this dude's just off knifing people. And Luan gets there and she's like, "Yeah, we need to get her to med, and we also need an electrician because he's cut the power because he does not want us following." And Kirk and Aurora again, she's still tripping out, and he's like, "You really need to get to sick bay, and you get to sick bay, I'll go ahead and handle the rest of this." And it's cool when you have somebody who's tripping out who is really looking out for you. And when we go ahead and see Captain and Luan, and they're got their phasers ready and they're about to go, and they almost shoot Kirk in the face. It looks like. And Luan is a little taken aback. It's her second time she saw Kirk today, and she still hasn't quite been able to talk to him, and it's definitely awkward. Captain Pike notices. He's like, "How have you two met?" And she's like, "No, now is not the time." And then we see Kirk and Luan meeting up again outside of sick bay, and Luan's like, "So how did you two meet?" And Kirk is like, "It's not like that. She was having an episode in the elevator, we ran into each other." She's like, helpful kind of guy. He's like, "Exactly." And she remembers, due to the conversation with Alt Kirk, how much he was always trying to be like his dad and helping others. He just kind of had that issue. All of us seem to have some kind of issues in our lives: dad, mommy issues, whatever. But trauma, therapy, whatever. And she understands that, and she's good with it. And when we go ahead and get Kirk and Aurora, they're kind of discussing everything as well. And she's kind of piecing together that there seems to be something trying to communicate with me, and there's this alien presence I feel. And her and Kirk are discussing it, bouncing it off each other, and they bring Sam into it, and her and Sam and Kirk are talking about it. And Sam and Kirk have their own brother issues, their sibling rivalry going on, and we all understand that. Very competitive with my brothers, whether we're playing Call of Duty or some PlayStation game or whatever, basketball or baseball. It's just competitive natures. It's just how we are, brothers, sisters, family. I don't know. I don't know how your family is, but that's how we were growing up. And you know, they're experiencing that and trying to work that out. Kirk just wants to be like his dad, and the other one is like, "Well, I'm named after Dad. Quit making me look bad, homie." And Aurora has another episode, and death and destruction. She feels it everywhere. This is something that they've been trying to communicate with her, that this deuterium that they are mining is them. It's the aliens. It's the essence. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. And Starfleet is like, "Whoa, our bad." And she runs to the captain and tells the captain the situation. He's like, "Are you sure?" Spock, everyone's like, "Yeah, it's possible." They do the scans, and it could be. And they're trying to shut off the system, but you know, Pelia and Number One, they fixed it, and at least they thought they fixed it, but it was more corrupt than they thought, because they cannot shut the emergency shutdown down. They cannot shut off the emergency shutdown. So things running, and Captain's making his decision, and he's like, "All right, are you 100% sure?" And Aurora's like, "Yes, I am. I am 100% sure I am." And he gives her the order, and they evacuate the station. And she fires the torpedoes, and they blow the station up. And blowing the station up, Captain's like, is everything cool? Has this been resolved?" And she's like, "It has been resolved," because she can finally see Hemmer as Hemmer was, as she remembered him. And they fade off, and the aliens are happy, and Pike's like, "Oh, you're gonna have to figure this out with Starfleet. They'll come after me for blowing up their new gas station. Had nothing to do with you." We're trying to protect them. And with that, Kirk tells Aurora, hey, you just discovered a new alien species. You think about that? And Captain's like, that's right, Aurora, you're good to go. Get back to work. Get us out of here. And, they take off, and we see that Aurora and Kirk are discovering their relationship and getting to know each other. And then, Kirk and his brother have their little talk about, trying to move on. And Sam is telling, Kirk how proud he is of him and how being the youngest first officer of the Farragut is, such a great thing, after their dad, being the youngest one before them. And Kirk's like, all right, yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. And Sam's waiting for his apology. And Kirk's like, I don't know what you're waiting for, bro. And Sam storms off all pissy. I love it. And then Aurora walks up and, talking to Kirk. And I love how you're seeing, them bond. And then not only do we have that, but we have Spock walk up talking trash about his brother. Like, yes, he is quite annoying. I mean, since Spock almost killed him last week for those cookies and those crumbs. I'm digging this. I'm liking how they're all finally coming together, and we're seeing all the pieces starting to fall into place, just like Tetris or a puzzle. It's all taking that shape that we know and love, the Enterprise and its crew, and I'm all for it. Well, as this episode, episode 6, season 2, Strange New Worlds. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed our little recap. My thoughts on it are, I am one for this series. It just gets better and better with each episode. I haven't had an episode that's lets me down. Not yet. Not this season so far. It's been really good. It's probably one of my favorite shows on TV right now or streaming. I look forward to it every Thursday. It brings me happiness. It brings me joy. I'm looking forward to Lower Decks as well, that crossover. The writing on this show is just hitting it out of the ballpark to me personally. It may be not like the original series, but it's got that fun vibe to it, as well as some of the PC correctness, as well as the wokeness. That's awesome. That's what Star Trek was about, bringing us all together. But it also has, that fun way of getting there, and it's very familiar with the characters. That's something I can get with. It may not be all, 100%. This is Star Trek, and this is how it should be, but I like the interpretation. It's open, it's relevant, and it's fun. Discovery was its own beast. This is very much something that is probably one of the best streaming shows out there right now, besides something like Yellowstone or, even, was it House of Dragons? Those are on a different level, but this is something that I enjoy just as much, if not more than. And, I discuss that with anybody who wants to discuss, what they feel Trek is about, because Star Trek is about a lot of different things to, different people. It's sci-fi, but it's also about humanity and how are we going to get from us trying to destroy ourselves to where they are, and can we? We'll see. Well, again, I had a great time with you. Hopefully you had a great time. Let me know how we're doing. Leave us some comments, like, subscribe, and let us know how we're doing, all right? Again, I am Gabe. I'm Elevated Daily. Thank you for joining with us, spending this time. You have a good time. Stay safe and stay elevated.